Our goal today is to use GarageBand to create a soundtrack using multiple MP3s and add narration to the project. So while in GarageBand, click New Project. We're going to select a voice type project and click Choose. You're going to name your project and where you're going to save it. I'm going to choose the desktop for now. And everything else we don't care about. Click Create. First thing we want to do is verify our input source. If you don't see that, you'll click on the eye. You'll want to choose either the Snowball microphone or other microphone or the internal microphone depending on what setup you're currently using. You want the monitor to be off, and that way we don't get any feedback. Also, you may note the metronome down here. Make sure the metronome is turned off. If it's not turned off, you will hear the metronome beats as you're recording, and that may be frustrating. Also, we want to change our view from measures to actual time in seconds. You can click this up arrow to change that to time. And that way, wherever your playhead is, you can look and see how many seconds have elapsed down here, and also visually.
Now, one of the things that happened to me when I tried to use this is that when I plugged in the Snowball mic, my input source didn't have it listed. And so I had to go to the system preferences on the computer and make sure that the Snowball mic was chosen as my first choice for my sound input. And so once the input was set to Snowball mic, then I was able to see it in GarageBand.
All right, the next thing we're going to do is click on this 2 tracks it gave us and get rid of the effect, just so that we don't have any weird effects on the vocals here. So we might want to go ahead and record some narration. Wherever the playhead is, this is the red line, that's where the recording will start. And whatever track is selected is the track you'll be recording onto. So I'm going to record on the top track because it's selected, and I'm going to hit the record button. This is an example of a recording, and I'm recording my voice, and I'm going to now stop. So as you can see, you can double click on the track to bring up this fine editing menu that you can see the playhead in both spots. There's some blank area before my audio starts, so I'm going to line up my playhead there, and if I hit Control T or Command T on the keyboard, it'll split the audio at the playhead. And I'm going to do that again at the end, and then make sure that's selected. Command T. And now I can remove the 2 parts that I do not want by clicking to highlight and pressing delete. And now we can fine-tune this and align it where we need it later on. You may record several narration segments and maybe have multiple people narrating. You can also name these tracks here by clicking on that. So let's call that track 1 or narration 1. Next, earlier we downloaded some MP3s that we want to add to our soundtrack. So I'm going to open the Finder and click on the Downloads folder. And you can drag these MP3s directly into GarageBand. Notice the light gray playhead. Wherever you drop that, that's where the MP3 will start. Alright, so now we have this MP3. And now you can actually clip this up just like we clipped up our recorded audio we did ourselves. So we want our video to be approximately 3 minutes. In order to see more of the timeline here, I'm going to adjust my view by sliding this bar over. And now I can see more. As you can see, this track is about 1.5 minutes or just under 1.15 minutes or so. So I'm going to drag in the second track, Soggy Bottom Boys, in, where that one leaves off. And I'm going to adjust my view a little bit more so I can see it. So this track ends here. Or wait. So I want my whole project to be 3 minutes long.
Now, should we look at that first track that looked like it almost had some blank at the beginning? The first, not the narration, but the first audio track. Was there some blank space?
Just a small gap here.
Okay.
So yeah, we can go ahead and clean that up. We can use this smaller playhead down here to fine tune it, and then Command T, and then select just the beginning part, press delete. We can ignore that, and now we can drag that to the front. So I'm going to leave a little bit of overlap on here. So I want it to be exactly 3 minutes. This track is now selected. Command T. I can now delete that. Obviously, you'll spend more careful attention to the start and stops of songs. This is just a quick overview. So these two tracks are overlapping, and so I want one to fade out while the other fades in. If you click on this down arrow here, you'll see the overall track volumes. I can set waypoints by clicking on the track volume and clicking again. So this will be decreasing the track volume as it continues to play. Then on this one, if I pull it the other way, this one will be fading in as this one is fading out. Also on your audio track here, this is the overall track volume. So if you find your narration is a little quiet, you can just increase the track volume with this slider. You can see it being adjusted there. So now, we basically have our track finished. We've done a little bit of narration. We've done some fade in and fade outs with the audio. So now we want this to be an MP3 that we can now export to use with other projects. Click on Share, Export Song to Disk. I like to choose the MP3 format, and I'll choose Export. And ask me where I want to export. I'll choose Desktop, and I'll click Save. So now it's creating an MP3. And now we have our song on the desktop.
Now, is that MP3 editable, or would we have to go back into the GarageBand project and edit it?
So you could edit this MP3 by dragging it back into GarageBand, but if we want it to be an actual project, you would want to save your GarageBand project by going to File, Save. And that will actually save all of your edits.
That seems like a good idea in case we want to change something later.
Correct.